Ron Desantis dropped another bomb on Florida homeowners, and I suspect the bomb will detonate on the Florida housing market. Much like the dermatologist dropped a bomb on my face yesterday, which is my reminder to you to always wear sunscreen. They dropped a bomb on me, baby. They dropped a bomb on you. Breaking news, Florida is one of 14 states passing laws in 2023 limiting foreign ownership of real estate. The state of Florida recently enacted a bill that limits some foreigners from owning property in the state. Florida law prohibits most citizens of China, Cuba, Iran, North Korea, Russia, Syria, and Venezuela from buying real estate close to military compounds or critical infrastructure. And whether you love DeSantis or hate him, right now, breaking news today, China's cyber army is invading critical U.S. services. And they've already attacked a utility in Hawaii, a West Coast port and pipeline over the past year. The Chinese military is ramping up its ability to disrupt key American infrastructure, including power and water utilities and transportation systems, according to U.S. officials and industry security experts. Hackers affiliated with China's People's Liberation Army have burrowed into the computer systems of about 24 critical entities over the past year. And these intrusions are part of a broader effort to develop ways to create panic and chaos or snarl logistics in the event of a U.S.-China conflict in the Pacific. And for now, the victims so far are a water utility in Hawaii, a major West Coast port, and at least one oil and gas pipeline. But if they hack the grid and get into Port Everglades or into any of the nuclear reactors in Florida, or a cell tower, or our credit records, or God knows what, it is no bueno for the housing market, the consumer, or Floridians, period. And it's no good for the country either. And in case you didn't know, we're at war right now. Despite what they would have you believe, hackers also attempted to break into the operator of the Texas power grid. Evidently, China didn't get the memo that you don't mess with Texas. And while Biden and China were playing nice last month, and Gavin Newsom miraculously cleaned up the streets of California so that he could roll out the red carpet, the reality is China is sitting on a stockpile of strategic vulnerabilities or undisclosed security flaws that it can use in its stealth attacks. What China says and what they do are totally incongruent. But make no mistake, this is a fight for our critical infrastructure. And while this DeSantis bombshell of limiting foreign ownership in real estate may seem shocking to some, like real estate agents who are dependent on international buyers for business, the number of homes purchased by international buyers have fallen to a 14-year low. And yet, foreigners still bought some damn near $60 billion worth of residential property between April of 21 and March of 2022. And while prohibited buyers vary by state, they encompass governments, entities, and individuals from countries including China, Russia, Iran, North Korea, Cuba, Syria, Venezuela, and others. All places you probably want to visit. And probably places that I'm likely to move to soon. But restrictions like these are not without their challengers, and many Chinese citizens living in Florida feel like DeSantis just dropped a bomb on them. And so do real estate professionals who work with Asian and Asian American clients who question the law in the Sunshine State and claim that this is completely unconstitutional. Meanwhile, hackers often seek to mask their tracks by threading their attacks through innocuous devices such as home or office routers before reaching their victims. The key goal is to steal employees' credentials that they could use to return, posing as normal users. These hackers are looking for a way to get in without being detected. They are trying to build tunnels into our infrastructure that they can later use to attack. They will lie in wait, they will carry out reconnaissance, and they will figure out if they can move into industrial control systems or more critical companies or targets upstream. And one day when they get the order, they switch from reconnaissance into attack. And while we close out the year and go into 2024, the annual threat assessment from the Office of the Director of National Intelligence warned that China almost certainly is capable of launching cyber attacks that would disrupt U.S. critical infrastructure, including oil and gas pipelines and rail systems. And we must be prepared and take this threat seriously. And if you're serious about buying or selling real estate, please reach out because who you hire matters.